dollars to put in it.
All right, let's clap it up. Let's clap it up. All right, shalom, Israel. Shalom, shalom. Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Barakathum to the brothers. Yahweh Shamar Alathun Bahashim, Yahweh Shai to the sisters. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started at 1 West, 125th Street out of Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. You understand? We are not affiliated with no other Israelite group or Christian organization, and we teach the truth according to the Bible, and that's that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the real Jews, according to the scriptures, you understand? And that the white man, Salakia, the oppressor, is the devil the Bible speaks of, you understand? And it's important that we understand this. I know we say the same things in here over and over and over again. You understand? It kind of might sound like we're a broken record. You understand? But as much as we say Christ is black, do you know there still are people out there that believe Christ is a white man? As much as we say the real Jews are black, there are still people out there that believe the Jews are those imposters in the land of Israel right now. As much as we say the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of, majority of our people still want to reconcile the fact that he is in charge of them and he can have a possibility of changing to love them. When this trial with Derek Chauvin and George Floyd should be a wake-up call to black people. The fact that we watched on camera our brother get murdered in cold blood, and there's even a trial happening this long, speaks volumes about just how little black people's lives mean in America. Just how much these devils and their system oppresses our people. Could you just imagine if George Floyd was a white man and Derek Chauvin was a black man, and if that exact same scenario played out, you would not have the response that you have right now. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows. Anybody that tries to not acknowledge this fact is somebody that's just trying to continue to live in lies. Because we all know if that were a white boy who was on the ground and had that knee on his neck for 9 minutes, and we witnessed it on camera, and he called out for his mother or his father, you understand? The whole country will go up in flames if that brother wasn't damn near publicly executed. They would try to give that black police officer the electric chair. But because it's a black man, of course, we are the problem in this place. We are to blame for everything that happens to us, according to them. You understand? We're going to go into some heavy topics tonight, man. Because I know you've seen the news with DMX and how he's currently in a coma. Lord be with that brother, man. DMX, if you didn't know, the famous rapper DMX is currently in a coma fighting for his life. They said he's brain dead as of right now. He's in a vegetative state. You understand? And this brother just went from being full-blown healthy as you can be as a drug addict, to now being damn near pretty much on life support. And what DMX is suffering right now is not anything new or different than what every black, Hispanic, and Native American has been affected by. Everybody that's watching the class right now, every black, Hispanic, or Native American can all attest to the fact that they've seen this play out to somebody they love, or even themselves. You understand? Like DMX, although he's famous and he's a rapper, he could not escape the wrath of the Lord, the punishments, the curses that the Lord has put on the children of Israel. You understand? Before we get into it, you understand, I'm priest and officer of 1,000 Kazakh Ahmad. This is I.S.U.P.K, Washington, D.C. Tonight is a Tuesday night brotherhood class. And the topic of tonight's class is drug addiction, mental illness, and poverty in the black community. And we're going to bring out something that a lot of people may not understand, that all three of those things are directly related to each other. Drug addiction, mental illness, and poverty are directly correlated to each other. You understand? All three of them are byproducts and causes of each other. Poverty causes mental illness. Mental illness causes poverty. Drug addiction causes poverty. Poverty causes drug addiction. Drug addiction causes mental illness. Mental illness causes drug addiction. All three of them are interlaced within each other. And it's not by mistake that the black community suffers, the black and Hispanic community suffers these three things higher than everybody else. You understand, statistically speaking. Before we get started, if there are any questions in the class, go ahead, type them online. If you're online, you got any questions, you can be on topic, off topic, just type it in the chat. Any questions in the room, we're going to go ahead and get them questions. Go ahead, brother.
I had a preset for what you were talking about where we sound like a broken record and we always say the same things, if I may.
Go ahead, absolutely.
Revelation 14, verse 2. And I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters and as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. Verse 3. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth.
Now break it down how that pertains to what we were just saying, if you could, Bible Show.
How you say we all say the same thing. This is the verse that puts my faith in that I.S.U.P.K is the truth, because we all do the same things. We all say the same thing on the same accord, because we all speak the truth. We same breakdowns. And this here, the song that they're singing is the truth before the throne of Yahawashi.
Right, that's exactly what they're saying. That you could use that, but it's too loosely related. Where the one you would want to use to be right on point with it would be, get me Ephesians 4 and 5. Ephesians 4 and 5 is going to be more on point with what this is, meaning how the brother said, no matter where you go, the UPK says the exact same thing. We say the same. We're going to go down to Houston, Texas, April 24th, and observe the Lord's 52nd annual Passover. And you're going to have the scripture breakdown class there, and you're going to have brothers teaching, and you're going to hear brothers talking. You're going to talk to brothers, and you're going to realize these brothers are saying the same thing I hear from the brothers in my city, because we are all of one body, one mind. And the scripture says that. Whoever God can go ahead and read about the show. Nice and loud for people too.
Ephesians 4, verse 5. One Lord, one faith, one baptism.
One Lord, one faith, and one baptism, man. What you read about right here is what the I.S.U.P.K has embodied. You understand? The scriptures according to how the Lord always intended his people to be. One body, one faith, one baptism. Meaning in here, we are all one in the truth. You understand? Meaning you don't have brothers that believe different things in here. Like you don't have in DC, we believe the East Indians are heathens. And then in California, they believe the East Indians are Hawaiians, and Hawaiians can be saved, or somebody else, the East Indians can be saved. We all believe the same thing. You understand? We are all in the truth in the I.S.U.P.K, and we are all in one body, one faith, one baptism. And you're going to see that we all have been saying the same thing since we became officers. Every officer has said the exact same thing since they passed that test. The real Jews are black, Christ is black, and the white man is the devil, the Bible speaks of. You understand? We all say the same thing. If you stick around long enough, you'll realize you're going to be saying the exact same thing too, because it's the truth. You understand? No matter what happens, the truth won't change. Now, if you change something from the truth, it's no longer the truth. You understand? And you'll realize that you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. But that's what they're saying. Keep reading.
Verse 6. One God and Father of all.
One God and Father of all. This is important to understand, because a lot of our people believe that we can serve our own God and call on him his respective name. I'll give you an example of what I'm saying. This past Sunday, I.S.U.P.K Washington, D.C. went to a Black Panther rally. You understand? In D.C., in Southeast D.C. We went to a Black Panther rally. And while we was out there, they wanted us to speak. And right before Captain Mashak got going to speak, there was a brother speaking. And he said, we are all here, you understand, and we may call our gods something different. I may call him Allah, the great, benevolent, and merciful. You may call him Elohim Yeshua. You may call him Jesus Christ. You may call him something else. But we are all here under God. And that's the problem with the black community. You can't say we are all here under God when you just named four or five different gods. You understand? There is only one God. And until black people unite under that one God, you're going to see more incidents like DMX. And I hate to use him as an example, but it's going to go into the topic. Like, why does it take for a celebrity to suffer what we've always suffered as average black people for black people to start caring now? Like, we all got an uncle or a homeboy, a cousin or auntie, somebody close that suffers with drug addiction. And we disown them. We separate from them. We don't talk to them. We don't check up on them. We don't love them. But a celebrity gets played with what we all get played with as a people. And now your heart goes out to them. You go and play music outside the hospital. Meanwhile, your cousin couldn't even get a goddamn card from you. You understand? But now, because it's a celebrity, you want to go outside and you stand outside all through the late night hours playing music and crying and speaking on behalf of this person, whenever the news want to come interview. You got so much love for the celebrity, but you don't have love for the average black person that suffers these things all the time. And we'll continue to suffer these things until we realize that we have one God as a people. You understand? There is no, you may call him something else. If you're calling him something else, then it's not the same God. That's just like if I'm saying, I'm going to call this brother Young Man Jose. And then you may say, well, you may call him something else, but I call him this. It's like, well, what is his name? You know, what is his name? What we've been taught to do as a people is to be accepting of everything. And that's why drug addiction is rampant in our community. Because our people are the ones that allow the drugs to come in our community. And not only do we accept it, we take it on and we push it to our own people. When drugs are not black people's culture, selling drugs is absolutely abominable to the Most High. You understand? The Bible talks about drug dealers. You understand? But that's the precept you want to go to be more important with it. If you have any questions in the chat, type them in the chat. Any questions in the room? Let's go ahead and get them. Go ahead, brother.
So like my last one, I had a question about Hebrew Academy. Mm-hmm. And I was told that you make a video to submit for everybody to watch, if that's true. And at Passover, you can submit your name as well, or something like that, if that's correct.
So for Hebrew, any brother out there that's interested in Hebrew Academy, what you will have to do first is get permission from the camp leader. He will have to approve you even going through the process. You understand? It's like a pre-approval before you even start to submit your videos and these type of things. You will have to be pre-approved by the camp leader to say if you're eligible to participate in Hebrew Academy. It's like if you're eligible to even apply to participate in Hebrew Academy. So the first step for brothers is get in contact with your camp leader. You understand? And ask him, am I eligible to apply? You understand? To be into Hebrew Academy this year. After that, once he gives you that answer, you'll get all the steps that you need, you understand, on where to go from there. I don't want to get the steps now because if a brother don't know specifically if he's qualified, it just, it serves no purpose. You understand? But you'll definitely, for the brothers that are interested, man, go to that camp leader, man. Let them know, Salaka, sir, am I eligible to apply for Hebrew Academy? I'm trying to get it in. I'm trying to wear that cover. I'm trying to shed my blood, sweat, and tears for this truth. You understand? The I.S.U.P.K is already an elite group. We already the home of the truth. But the brothers that went through Hebrew Academy have further, solidified themselves and saying, I'm down for this truth. You understand? I will live and die and sacrifice for the work of the Lord. The same way the prophets have always done. Like what we're doing now is not new. A lot of people see us and be like, why would you need to learn how to fight? Why would you have to train if you believe in God? You're an idiot. You're an absolute idiot. You go read them records about the disciples and how they rode with Christ, about how Peter carried a sword and they tried to arrest Christ. Peter cut off the ear of the centurion, of the officer that was trying to arrest Christ. To equate that today, just imagine Christ was here today and his right-hand man shot a police officer in the ear while he's going to arrest Christ. That's how hard-bodied them brothers was rolling. For all you Christians that think this life that we live is soft and it's supposed to be loving and rainbows and kisses. That's not who Christ had with him, man. Christ had brothers that you rejected. Christ, when he grabbed all the brothers that America rejected, that the Christian church rejected, that the fake Israelite groups rejected, that black women rejected, that other black men rejected. Christ went and grabbed those brothers, and he changed those brothers' lives, and they were hardcore soldiers for Christ. And now what you see is all the way down the line, the prophets of old are back in the earth. Here we are, hardcore for Christ. You understand? And brothers in here will not compromise. And Hebrew Academy is just another way of you showing that you are absolutely loyal to the cause of bringing Christ's kingdom on. You willing to pay and sacrifice for it. It's not for everybody. I'm telling you right now. This is not the white man's military where you can come in here and then think it's just all about push-ups and all about, you do some running. And that's not what this is about, man. You're going to suffer. You're going to hurt physically. I'm not going to say you're not. But it's much more than that. You understand? It's much more than that. And those brothers that are fortunate and unfortunate enough to participate, you will see. You understand? Do we have any questions? Any other questions? It could be off topic, anything before we get into the topic. I know y'all brothers be asking a lot of good questions. And y'all had some of the questions yesterday. I was tuned in. If we don't have any questions, we're going to go ahead and get into the topic. Let's go to Salakia. All right, let's go into Tobit in the Apocrypha, chapter 3, verse 17. Let's go to Tobit, chapter 3, verse 17. What we're going to go into is how mental illness, drug addiction, and poverty are all related, and that this is nothing new. Black people have always suffered these type of plagues, these curses, you understand, even in the scriptures. You understand? It's somebody out there right now that think them having mental illness it can't be beat, and it can't be they can't change, and they're different. When everything you're going through is not new. You understand? There's people in the Bible that suffer the same thing because we are the same people. Whoever got it can go here and read.
Tobit, chapter 3, verse 17. And Raphael was sent to heal them both.
It's like a 3 and 7.
3 and 7. It's a lot.
No sweat, no sweat.
Tobit, chapter 3, verse 7. It came to pass the same day that in I.S.U.P.K, a city of Medea, Sarah, the daughter of Salaki, how you said it? Regal was also reproached by her father's maid.
1 second. Hold your spot. Pull it up. Tobit 3 and 7. Raguel. So we can start from verse 7 again. Bump the sharp. If you didn't know, we had Tobit chapter 3, verse 7.
Tobit chapter 3, verse 7. It came to pass the same day that in I.S.U.P.K, a city of Medea, Sarah, the daughter of Raguel, was also reproached by her father's maid.
So right now, what we're going to read about is this account of a sister, you understand? Her name was Sarah, and her father's name was Raguel. Keep reading.
Verse 8. because that she had been married to 7 husbands, whom Asmodeus, the evil spirit, had killed before they had lain with her. Dost thou not know? They said that thou hast strangled thine husbands.
Right.
Thou hast had already 7 husbands. Neither wast thou named after any of them.
So, you go back to verse 8. So, what we're reading right here is about a sister named Sarah. She's a daughter of Raguel. And this sister, you're going to find out that she had what the Bible calls a demon. But if you know anything about the Bible, mental illness is demons plaguing somebody. And this sister had what we would call today a mental illness. And I'll prove it to you. Let's keep reading.
Verse 8. Come. Because that she had been married to 7 husbands.
So this sister has been married to 7 husbands. You understand? You got to ask yourself, well, I thought a woman had to stay with her husband until he died. How was she able to be with 7 men? It's going to tell you how she's able to be with 7 men. Keep reading.
Whom Amadeus, the evil spirit, had killed.
Asmodeus. No sweat.
Whom Asmodeus, the evil spirit, had killed.
Whom Asmodeus, the evil spirit, had killed. This is important to understand because a lot of you, especially you sisters, have an absolute masculine demon that you love to have inside of you. You understand? This particular demon that this sister had, his name was Asmodeus. The Bible calls it the evil spirit. And what this demon did was cause this sister to murder her husbands before he got to lay down with her. You understand? This sister went and killed 7 men that she was supposed to be married to. You understand? Now, in today's terms, where would that sister be? If she killed 7 men, where would they put that sister? No. They put that sister in D.C. Go ahead.
St. Elizabeth.
St. Elizabeth. In D.C. it's called St. Elizabeth. In Maryland it's called Patuxent. Wherever you at, it's probably Shady Grove mental institution or wherever wherever you want to call it. In today's time, they will put this sister in a mental institution because a woman that killed 7 men, she's not just a criminal. You understand? There's something seriously off with that woman. If you were to meet a woman and she killed 7 men and she didn't know that she's killing these men, you'd be like, yo, this sister has a mental illness. It's going to tell you how she killed these men and didn't know she was killing them. You understand? Mental illness is a real thing. The problem is you never knew that mental illness is demons. You understand? That's what mental illness is. For those of us, which is all of us in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community, all of us have some form of mental illness. I can prove it to you. The Bible says we do. Keep reading.
Before they had lain with her. Dost thou not know, said they, that thou hast strangled thine husbands?
So right now, these other sisters, they teasing this sister. So they talking about it. They asking her like, damn, you don't know that you killing these men? Like, you're the one that's killing your own husbands. Why would they have to ask her, do you not know you're the ones killing the husbands? Why would these women have to ask her this?
She acting like it's a normal day.
Because she acting like, like you said, she doesn't know she's the one that's killing them. In today's terms, what would you call that? Somebody that does something and then doesn't realize they do it. There's different, all kinds of medical mental illness terms. It could be classified as multiple personality disorder or schizophrenia. You understand? Where one minute somebody's this person and they do things as this person. And then that's the demon. And then the demon, I wouldn't say flee because the demon is still there. The demon then retreats, for lack of a better word. And now that person is in their right mind. And it's like, what the hell happened? A lot of you understand that because in the world, you did things that absolutely made no sense. And as soon as you did it, the demon left you. How many brothers went and slept with a prostitute? The demon emboldened them to go sleep with some dirty prostitute. And as soon as they finished with that whore, the demon left. And now you sitting here looking at yourself like, why did I do this? What possessed me to up and do this? This is stupid. A lot of sisters would go and slash a brother tires and go run a brother over and pour bleach and hot grease on the brother. And then as they sitting in the jail cell or before the judge, they ask themselves, why did I do that? Why was I so bad? A lot of what we call today, I just blanked out. I just spazzed. I don't remember, I blacked out. I don't know what happened. You understand? What you don't understand is black people live in such terrible oppression that it's normal for us to have mental illness. And we just live our lives being mentally ill. And it's a normal thing. This sister right here is mentally ill, and it's a demon that's on this sister. Right? So these sisters are teasing this sister. Keep reading.
Thou hast had already 7 husbands. Neither wast thou named after any of them.
They saying you had 7 husbands and you ain't been with none of them. You ain't got none of them names because you killed all of them. Keep reading.
Verse 9. Wherefore dost thou beat us for them?
They saying, wherefore are you going to beat us for them? Meaning this sister, they talking about her and she put hands on them. Like she fighting them. Like you gonna talk about me? She fighting them. And as they getting beat up, they like, you the one that killed your husbands. Why are you fighting us? Remember, the Bible's talking about black people. This is not talking about nobody else but black people. You gotta keep in mind, this is our book, our history. And this sister laying hands on these broads. Like, you talking about me? You understand? They saying, why you beating on us? You the one that killed your husbands. You the one that's bugged out. That's crazy. Keep reading.
If they be dead, go thy ways after them.
What is these sisters telling this broad Sarah? What did they just say right here? If they be dead, go thy way after them. You gotta be black to understand it. Give it a shot. Go ahead.
You be dead too.
Go kill yourself. Black people say all the time, nigga, kill yourself. Go off yourself. You go die too. That's what they tell her. They tell the sister, you might as well kill yourself too. You understand? Keep reading. That's right. The sister by the side said, kill yourself. You absolutely right, sis. That's what they tell her. Kill yourself. Keep reading.
Let us never see of thee either son or daughter.
They saying, we don't want to see you have kids. Like, you just kill yourself. We don't want to see you have no kids or none of that. You understand? Keep reading.
Verse 10. What? Is that we?
No sweat. Verse 10.
Wait. It's like, wait. How you say it?
It's supposed to be when.
Okay.
Are you reading it on the tablet?
Yeah.
Who got the actual book? What does it say at verse 10?
I'm starting at the top. When she heard these things,
it says when.
God, it says when.
Yeah, and this is important too for those that don't understand, and I'm guilty too. When you read in the Bible, the scriptures, even though it's convenient for us to have these, it's always good to have that black and white on the paper in front of you, because there are certain discrepancies between the actual printed and then these devices. You understand? Something as simple as them missing the goddamn N. Like, you be like, how you forget the N on a word? It's one of those things. It's good to have the actual book in front of you. You understand? Yeah, verse 10. Keep reading.
Verse 10. When she heard these things, she was very sorrowful.
When she heard what these sisters were saying about her, she was very sorrowful, man. She hearing how the sisters telling her to go, girl, go kill yourself. You done killed all your husbands, girl. You crazy. You bugged out, girl. Something wrong with you. Yes, I hope she don't never, girl. I hope she don't never have kids. Her crazy self. She need to go kill herself. She heard all these things and she was very sorrowful. Any human being would be sorrowful if these things are happening to you. Imagine you supposed to be married 7 times, and each time your spouse is dead and you don't have no recollection on why your spouse is dying. And not realizing you are the one that's killing them. You understand? Keep reading.
So that she thought To have strangled herself.
So she thought to what?
To have strangled herself.
For all of you Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans out there, and particularly you sisters, that thought to kill yourself is not a new thought. You are not special because you suffer mental illness, which is a demon, or multiple demons. You understand? It has always been Satan's job, you understand, to get us to destroy ourselves. It's always been his job to do that. And right here, this sister is absolutely battling that. She thought to kill herself, to strangle herself, which lets you know what we suffer now is not new. The Bible says that. There is nothing new underneath the sun. You understand? Even though that's talking about reincarnation, but at the same time, the sister that's in this Bible that we read about right now is back in the earth. The prophets that we read about in these scriptures are back in the earth. And guess what? The problems that they faced before time, we face now. And this sister thought to kill herself, man. For all you sisters out there that mope and like to be depressed and like to sit and wallow, let's hear what this sister did when she thought to kill herself when she was depressed. Keep reading.
And she said, I am the only daughter of my father.
And she said what?
I am the only daughter of my father.
As she thought to kill herself, she told herself, I am the only daughter of my father. Keep reading.
And if I do this, it shall be a reproach unto him.
And if I do this, it shall be a reproach unto him. What does reproach mean?
Like embarrassing to him.
It's a better word. Remember, always get in the habit. If you don't know, is you can find out in 10 seconds. You understand? The Lord made it where we got computers in our hand. Go ahead, brother.
Reproach, address someone in such a way as to express disapproval or disappointment.
Disapproval and disappointment. Embarrassing is close, but embarrassed is not the same as disappointed. You understand? This sister knew if she were to take her own life, her father would be absolutely disappointed. You understand? Hurt by what she did. And this is another sidebar. Anybody out there that's thinking about committing suicide is selfish. I know that sounds real harsh to say because we're supposed to have pity on people that want to commit suicide. Anybody that's thinking about going through with that is absolutely selfish. You know why? Because all they're thinking about is ending their pain, ending their sorrow. When guess what? When your pain ends after you kill yourself, what happens to the people that love you? What happens to the people that look to see you and care for you and want to watch you grow old and have children and that actually give a damn about you? Now their pain starts. When you think your pain is going to end, their pain starts. Which let you know those that think about committing suicide are just very selfish. You understand? It's another demon that you have to fight. And we read about this sister right here, literally fighting this demon to kill herself, to take her own life. Keep reading. Disgrace is a good word too, sis. Disgrace, disapproval, disappointment. That's a very good word. Disgrace. Keep reading.
And I shall bring his old age with sorrow onto the grave.
And she's saying, now before she said she wanted to kill herself, but now she's fighting it. She's thinking about how this will affect the people that love her father. And she said this will bring him nothing but sorrow, sadness, all the way up until his old age. Because contrary to popular belief, the demon that's telling you to kill yourself, what are they telling you about everybody else? Now, you may have to be here, have to experience this to know. But the demon that's telling you to kill yourself, what is it telling you about everybody else? If you don't know, it's no sweat. The demon that's telling you to kill yourself, what are they telling you about everybody? What is that demon telling you about everybody else? Go ahead, Kavar.
Oh, it's like that everybody hates you.
That nobody gives a damn about me. They don't care about me. Don't nobody love me. They won't miss me. Nobody appreciates me. Nobody loves me. The demon is tricking you into believing that nobody will care if you were to take your own life. When That is an absolute lie. The demon knows people are going to care about you. So that's why the demon lies to you and tells you nobody's going to care for you. Because guess what happens? When you kill yourself, guess what you do to somebody else? Now you put a demon on them. They're sorrowful. I'm not making this up. This happens a lot of times. Somebody dies or kills himself, and then somebody that's close to him now suffers with depression for the rest of their lives. And now they have to battle taking their own life. You understand? That's the purpose. You have to understand that demon is lying to you. You taking your own life will not stop the pain and suffering. And it will not absolutely free you from what the Lord wants us to go through. The Lord puts these demons on our people to get us to reevaluate what we are doing, man. It's like if you're driving on the road and the road gets really bumpy and rough out of nowhere, what would you do? You driving and the road gets real rough and bumpy and there's potholes everywhere. Somebody that's sane would slow down, and then it starts to get too bad. Now you say, let me pull over. And then if it continues to be that bad, let me find another route. That's what the Lord is doing, man. He wants us to change what we're doing. And unfortunately, pain is a hell of a motivator. You understand? Let's keep reading.
Verse 11. Then she prayed toward the window and said.
Then she did what?
Prayed towards the window.
Then this sister prayed, man. This sister prayed. This sister didn't entertain that demon, which is the problem with so many of our people. We love to sit and let that demon talk to us and entertain the demon. And a lot of sisters, especially, brothers do it too. But because sisters are more emotional, they fall into this trap a lot. A lot of sisters love to entertain that demon so much that when they're depressed, what do they start to do? Anybody had a black mother, you understand? And you might have to have grew up black women to understand this. When black women are sad and depressed, what do they start to do? Play sad music. You would think if you're already sad, you would start playing something that will make you happy. But instead, because they're sad, they continue to entertain that demon. And now they playing all the Mary J. She just broke up with her man. Now all she playing is Mary J. Blige. You understand? I won't stop crying no more and all that. You understand? Yeah, listen, man, it's a lot. You know, we know about it because this is our lives. Instead, you would think, well, hell, if you're sad, why don't you play happy music? It's telling you that you are entertaining that demon. You like the pain and sadness and the comfort of that demon being there instead of fighting and resisting Satan, man. What does the Bible say about resisting Satan? You might know the precept. You might get the precept for me. Anybody got it? No sweat. Give me James 4:7. That's right. The sis said, General Hyman says trauma is how demons jump from person to person. That's exactly how it happens. You understand? You killing yourself traumatizes other people. Trauma, and that's what we're going into tonight, sis. Sister's right on the money. It's a reason why black people suffer mental illness at a higher rate than any other people. Because our lives are filled with trauma. Think about the first time you felt severe trauma in your life. James 4:7. Whoever got it, go ahead and read.
James chapter 4, verse 7. Submit yourselves, therefore, to God.
Do what?
Submit yourselves, therefore, to God.
The Bible is telling you to submit yourself to God, man. The problem with our people is, who are we submitting ourselves to? Satan, man. When you went and celebrated Easter and said it was for the kids, you didn't submit to God. You submitted to Satan. Our people want to follow the culture of America. Black women think they can go out and be strippers and whores and be so-called independent. Black men think they can sell drugs and get high and murder other black men and think that you can live a life that's worth living. Well, you don't understand. You are in absolutely inviting Satan. You're serving Satan. And because you serve Satan, Satan is going to be right there with you. You have to serve the Lord. You have to submit to the Lord, man. Submit to what the law, statutes, and commandments say. Keep reading.
James chapter 4, verse 7. Submit yourselves, therefore, to God. Resist the devil.
Resist the devil. Somebody, what does it mean to resist? Go ahead.
Fight.
Fight. Give the brother a hand. Give the brother a hand, man. Because the Christian church doesn't tell you this is the life that the Lord wants you to live. You think this life is supposed to be rainbows and cookies and everything's supposed to be joyful? Even in the kingdom, we are going to fight. There's going to be a fight. The scripture says this is the condition of the battle, meaning this is the way the Lord designed it, man. You have to fight. If you are not willing to fight, you've already lost. It's common sense. If somebody coming to fight you and you just don't fight, you lost. You're getting your tail whooped. Or if you put your goddamn hands up, maybe sometimes blocking is fighting. You understand? Sometimes you don't have to throw a punch. Sometimes just blocking is good enough. And you might survive the fight. And then sometimes, most of the time, it requires you to not only block, but fight back. And the way you fight back is submitting yourself to the Lord, man. Seeking the Lord. And that's what black people have failed to do in this oppression that we live in. You understand? Like, how many of our black celebrities have we lost? I'm talking about celebrities, not because we care more about celebrities than we do everyday average black people, but because our people care more about celebrities. So that's why I'm referencing celebrities right now. How many black celebrities have we lost to drug addiction, to drug overdoses? You understand? So many of them. We don't get into conspiracies in here, but just on the books. How many black celebrities have we lost to drug addiction, man? It's an astonishing rate. You would think drug addiction is something that poor people suffer. After all, drug addiction is linked to poverty. You don't understand that the Lord is plaguing his people with these things because we refuse to submit to him. You understand? The Bible says, submit yourself to God, resist the devil. Keep reading.
And he will flee from you.
And he will what?
Flee from you.
He will what?
Flee from you.
If you just fight, like, goddamn, just fight. Don't be weak all your life, man. If you were just to fight, Satan will leave. It's not saying how long the fight will have to be, but fight. The moment you stop fighting, it's over with. But if you fight Satan, the Bible is guaranteeing you, Satan is going to leave, man. Satan is absolutely going to flee. And what we read about is this sister, she fought. When she could have wallowed in her sorrows and played all types of slow jams and been sad and drunk a bottle of Chardonnay or whatever women drink when they sad, Hennessy, and, sitting there just moping and stayed in her house robe and her bonnet all day and, calling out to work, and she ain't feeding the kids and bathing the kids. You're just useless the moment you begin to not fight. You're useless to everybody around you. You understand? And many of us grew up with people like this. Many of us grew up with parents that stopped fighting. You understand? Which added to our trauma, which is why many of us have to fight now, because we suffered traumatic experiences watching our parents not fight, not resisting the devil. You understand? That's what so-called generational curses come from. Keep reading the story. Let's go back to the story with the sister. If you didn't know, tell everybody where you at, Bubba Show. Whoever got it, go ahead and read.
Tobit, chapter 3, verse 11, from the top. Then she prayed toward the window and said, blessed art thou, O Lord, my God, and thine holy and glorious name is blessed and honorable forever.
She said, blessed is the Lord, man. His name is holy and glorious forever. You understand? Keep reading.
Let all thy works praise thee forever. Verse 12. And now, O Lord, I set mine eyes and my face towards thee.
She set her eyes and her face toward me, man. Meaning this sister is actively seeking the Lord, which is what has to happen in order for you not to die. Because what is the mission of a demon? You know, man, Jose?
To destroy you.
To destroy you, man. That is the mission of a demon. And I'm going to prove it to you. Let's keep reading.
Verse 13. And say, take me out of the earth, that I may hear no more the reproach.
This sister wanted to die. This is black people's lives right now in America, in Jamaica, in Brazil, in Mexico, in Trinidad. Our people would rather die than to face the reality that we live in. You know how you know? Why do we get high? Why would you put something in your system that tells you this gives you cancer if you smoke this? Black people have known for years cigarettes kill you. Black people have seen what crack has done to our community in the 80s, and yet we still have new crackheads. Black people know once you get on heroin, it's damn near impossible to get off of it. It takes the intervention of the Lord. And yet and still, our people still do these things that destroy ourselves. You understand? Because we are looking to die. That's what we're doing as a people. When that brother goes and he robs that brother, do you think he doesn't know what the backlash of what happens to that? Do you think brother's going to rob a brother and he just think he's safe now? That's not how the streets work. That brother, that's why anytime a brother commits some type of act against like that against a brother, he go rob a brother, or he catch a body or something like that. What does he always do now? What is the main emotion he feels? Fear. He's always looking over his shoulder because he knows now my life is on the line. But yet he knew this was a thing and he still did it because our people are running to death. Our people are running to destruction. This is the trick bag that we've been placed in by our oppressor, man, where we don't even see the value. Go ahead, do your thing. We don't even see the value in the life the Lord has given us. You understand? Keep reading.
Verse 14. Thou knowest, Lord, that I am pure from all sin with man. Verse 15. And that I never polluted my name, nor the name of my father, in the land of my captivity. I am the only daughter of my father, neither hath he any child to be his heir, neither any near kinsman, nor any son of his alive.
So this sister right now is making a plea to the Lord. She's telling the Lord, like, I'm my only father's child. I'm my father's only child. He doesn't have any sons. He don't have no heir to his name. She's pleading to the Lord, man. She's making her case to the Lord, like, Lord, you understand? Like, have mercy on me, Lord. That's what she's saying. Have mercy. Keep reading.
To whom I may keep myself for a wife. My 7 husbands are already dead, and why should I live? But if it please not thee that I should die, command some regard to be head of me.
The sister is saying right here, if you don't want me to die, Lord, then Lord, please have some mercy on me as I live. Like, if I want to die, but if you don't want me to die, then Lord, just give me some mercy in this life that I'm living. Because the life that we live is hell. For all you Christians that believe hell is a place underneath the ground with fire and a red man with a pitchfork, that is not hell. You understand? That was created by the Catholic Church to get their patrons to pay tithes, because the Catholic Church was filled with a bunch of rich Italians. You understand? The Roman Catholic Church was filled with a bunch of rich Italians. They had poor people too, but the Catholic Church wanted to get the rich Italians to pay their tithes. So they created this idea that hell is a place you go after you die. And the only way you don't go here and burn and suffer an eternal damnation is if you pay your tithes. That's why in the Catholic Church, what do they go to do to be forgiven for their sins? Anybody know?
They go to the confession.
And what do they do? What will the priest, when they confess their sins to that child molesting priest, what does the priest tell them they have to do for their sins to be forgiven? Pay what? Money. They have to pay money. They'll say, well, I need 10 Hail Marys, which 10 prayers, and then, then you have to pay this much amount, and this is and that, and your sins is forgiven. That's what it's all about in the goddamn church. Money. They created the whole idea of hell being a fiery place underground just to get more money. When hell is your life. Hell is my life. Hell is the life that our mothers and fathers lived, and that's the reason why they couldn't raise us the way parents should raise us, man. And their parents lived the same hell that we live in, and that's why their parents couldn't raise them the way a functional parent ought to raise them. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans live in hell. And when you live in hell, it will seem that it's better to die. And this sister is saying, Lord, if it doesn't please you for me to die, then just have mercy on me. Because this sister was living a life of hell, the same way we do right now. Keep reading.
And pity taken of me, that I hear no more reproach. Verse 6.
This is slack, brother. This is saying, like, Lord, have some pity on me, please. If I got to live in this life, you understand, then have some pity. Well, I don't have to hear these things that vex me. I don't have to hear the reproach, the shame, the disgrace of these things that I supposedly have done. You understand? Like, this sister is being told that she's killed all 7 of her husbands. And she don't know she did this. You know, so this sister is shamed and disgraced. You understand? And she's asking that she doesn't feel this sorrow anymore. Keep reading.
Verse 16. So the prayers of them both were heard before the majesty of the great God.
And say that, read that again.
And the prayers of them both were heard before the majesty of the great God.
The prayers of them both were heard before the majesties of the great God, man. The Lord heard this sister's prayer, man. The Lord heard Sarah praying out to the Most High for mercy. You understand? For forgiveness, for pity in living this life that we live. She didn't go and seek to soothe herself and self-medicate herself. She said, I need the Lord to take this away from me. You know why? Because guess what happens? When you self-medicate and you think drinking and getting high and having sex with random people and sleeping, a lot of us do that all the time. A lot of us just, when you get depressed, you just want to go to sleep. Like, I just want to sleep. You get off your slave and you sleep. You don't wake up till it's time for you to go to slave again. And you come back home and you sleep. A lot of us getting caught in these cycles of trying to medicate and distract ourselves from the hell we live in, when there's only one thing that's going to stop our reproach, to stop our suffering, and that's to submit to the Lord. Go ahead, brother.
Shalaki. So the prayers of both of them, you mean her and her father?
No, early in the scriptures, it's talking about Tobit. Tobit, he was struck with blindness. If you go up to chapter 2, it's going to talk about how Tobit, he was struck with blindness. And so it's talking about 2 different stories, because you're going to read how these stories intertwine. Tobit had a son named Tobias, and Tobias is going to marry this sister named Sarah. But before he marries her, he's going to cast out this sister's demon. You understand? That's why the stories are intertwined, because Tobit, he prayed to the Lord as well. Everything this sister went through, Tobit, not everything, but the suffering and sorrow and wanting to end your life that this sister went through, Tobit went through. You understand? He prayed to the Lord. He wanted the Lord to take his life too. And he prayed to the Lord instead. And that's why it says the Lord heard both of their prayers. You understand? And the Lord answered both of their prayers as well. You understand? The Lord sent Tobias, Tobit's son, to come and cast out this sister's demon. You understand? That's what it took. And we'll read on another time what it took to cast out the sister's demon. Not only did she have to submit to the Lord, she had to take her goddamn medicine, man. For all you Christians that don't believe you don't have to take medication, and that you can, oh well, you know, some natural herbs and you know, Dr. Sebi said that, you know, if I drink my pee and all the mucus the drain of my body, and you know, I ain't gotta take that, you know. Shut up, man. Well, you know, General YAHANNA said take the vaccine, and you know, black people are the dumbest people the moment we follow the white man. You know who believes in conspiracy theories? The white man. The white man is the father of conspiracy theories. They love a good conspiracy theory. Whenever reality doesn't fit what they want it to be, conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. You understand that black people follow after the white man, we become second to the white man and believe in conspiracy theories. Being just stupid, man. Take your medication. Go ahead, Kagar.
No, I was gonna say they can't say me lying because the Capitol riot was a conspiracy.
They can't say it one more time?
They can't say me lying because the Capitol riots was over a conspiracy.
Listen, get a brother a hand. Listen, man. What I'm saying is not a lie. The United States Capitol was stormed by terrorists and insurrectionists over a goddamn conspiracy. That's how much white people believe in conspiracies. They will destroy their very own nation over the belief of a conspiracy. We should not be like them, man. Let go of conspiracies. Take your medication. Take your medicine. The Bible says, honor a physician. You understand? The same way you come in here and you honor what we say as prophets of the Lord, we study and do the work to know what we're talking about in regard to the Bible. Those doctors go to school and study to know what they're talking about regarding the medical field. You understand? A lot of people, black people will say, well, why would you trust the white man to do this and to do that? Listen, I can understand that. I can only hear you out if you are absolutely self-sufficient of everything. You understand? If you eat food that's not grown from your own yard, shut up. You understand? If you eat food that's processed, you understand? You have no argument. If you ever taken a Tylenol or ibuprofen or Advil, shut up. I'm gonna hurt a lot of you feelings. Some of y'all so nasty, you got an STD and had to go get that them pills or that shot. You wasn't asking what was in that shot when you had that gonorrhea. You just said, give it to me. What's gonna take this burn away? Give it to me. But now it's different when it's the vaccine or something that's trying to save your life. Don't be a hypocrite, man. It's disgusting, man. It's absolutely disgusting how people can be hypocritical. Go ahead, brother.
Lucky. So you said Tobias came to knock that demon up out of him?
Absolutely. Where we at? Let's go down to
verse 17.
Did we read 17 yet?
No.
Go ahead, read 17.
Tobit 3, verse 17. And Raphael was sent to heal them both. That is, to scale away the whiteness of Tobit's eyes.
Right. Now what's going on right here is, if you read earlier in the previous chapter, Tobit was struck with blindness. You understand? And that's why he was depressed, because just like if something were to happen to you, just imagine you've been living with a sight all your life, and out of nowhere you losing your sight, or you lose your hearing, or you find out you have a tumor in your body or cancer. It would absolutely cause you to fall in a deep depression. You understand? It happens all the time. And Tobit was depressed because of this. And so Raphael, which is an angel, was sent, you understand, to heal Tobit and Sarah. Keep reading.
And to give Sarah, the daughter of Raguel, for a wife to Tobias, the son of Tobit, and to bind Asmodeus, the evil spirit, because she belonged to Tobias by right of inheritance. The self-same time came Tobit home and entered into his house. And Sarah, the daughter of Raguel, came down from her upper chamber.
Right. So what we're reading about right now is going to go into how Tobias went in the sand and he went, and the angel told him what to do to save his sister's life by binding this demon, by curing this mental illness, helping the sister. And you're going to read about how he went and took fish guts and he burned it with incense and a couple of other things. And if you don't know anything about medicine, this was medicine. Today, they call it aromatherapy. You understand? There's certain things, certain smells, and certain chemicals that when they mix, like certain medications, you understand? Certain medications have different methods by which you take it. Perfect example, somebody that has asthma, they take it through their mouth, through air. You understand? Literal air. They don't take pills. The inhaler is injecting the air, you understand, into their body. Some people have to take it orally. Some people have to take it on their skin topically. Some people have to take it through their rectum. Some people have to inhale it. Medication can be absorbed through the body through multiple means. And this particular medication, this sister had to smell it. You understand? That's what it's talking about. I don't want to go into that because I know we're going to get too far off topic. I want to get into the next scripture that we have. So that's what that's talking about. Let's go. Get me. Any questions? Type them in the chat. Give me 1 Samuel 16 and 14. I'm going to show you mental illness is in the Bible, man. It's absolutely in the Bible. And you don't understand what you're dealing with because you think you're the only one in the world to suffer. That's another trick demons play on people. Demons make you feel like you are just the worst. Your problem is unsolvable. You understand? It's just too deep to change and it will never be fixed. And the demon just makes everything just everything. I can imagine some of them demons is just real. It gets to give you the spirit of being dramatic. Just woe is me. It's the end of the world. I'll never be happy. Nobody will ever love me. Everybody hates me. I'm just jacked up. I got issues. Man, to hell with all that garbage, man. If that's the case, why even come into the truth? If that's the case, why even fight then? Just die. Kill all your kids and kill yourself then. Just do it. If that's really the case. But that's not the case, man. Fight for yourself, for your children, for your people, for your nation, man. God damn. Where we at? Go ahead, read.
1 Samuel 15 and 13, right, concept.
1 Samuel 16 and 14.
16 and 14. All right. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 14. But the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul.
But the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul. Let me help you with something, man. You think that... Let me make it simplified. If you don't have the Spirit of the Lord, please believe you are plagued with demons. You understand? The moment the Lord's Spirit leaves you, guess what happens? We're going to find out. The Spirit of the Lord left Saul. If you don't know who Saul is, Saul was the king of Israel at this time. And Saul disobeyed an order that the Most High gave to him. And because he disobeyed this order, the Lord took his spirit from Saul. You understand? Because the Lord now had who he wanted to be king in his place, which you'll find out later would be who we know as King David. You understand? So the Bible says the Lord's Spirit left Saul. You understand? The Spirit of the Lord left King Saul. This is what happened afterwards. Keep reading.
And an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him.
And an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him. You see how, who did it say the spirit was from?
The Lord.
The Lord, man. Give me Deuteronomy. Hold where you at. Give me Deuteronomy. Go ahead, Kagar. 32 and 32, I think it's 29. Well, it could be 39.
I think it's 39.
Go ahead. Good work.
See now.
Read it out loud. About the show.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me.
While everybody wants to believe that you can serve God and call him by a different name, you may call him Allah. You may call him the Elohim. You may call him Jesus Christ. You may call him this. No, nigga. That's not what the God of the Bible is saying. Read again from the top. This is what God says.
Okay. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. See now that I am he, and there is no God with me.
There is no God with the Most High, man. Why you think that God is able to be all these different things that we want him to be? He can be this and be that and be that. God is who he says he is. And there's no other gods with him. You understand? The God of the Bible, Yahweh in the Hebrew, is the only true living God. And this is what he says. Keep reading.
I kill.
I what?
I kill.
The Bible says, the Lord says, I kill. Keep reading.
And I make alive.
And I make alive. Keep reading.
I wound and I heal.
I wound and I heal. Keep reading.
Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand.
Neither is there none that can deliver out of my hand. You better understand something, man. When you displease the Lord, he takes his spirit from you and he sends a replacement and where his spirit used to be. And that's every replacement, brother, is vexation. It's absolutely madness. It's an evil spirit. And you're going to read about what this evil spirit, when the spirit of the Lord left Saul, the Lord sent this evil spirit to Saul. And we're going to read what this evil spirit caused Saul to start doing. Go ahead, Kagal.
Now, if I may, I was going to add on to what you're saying, because Christians nowadays think that Satan is his own entity, and when you do something evil, it's Satan himself that sent it, but they don't know that Satan worked for the Lord. So everything that's sent to you is from the Lord himself.
Goddamn right. You got that right, Kagar. Satan does not work for himself. The same way none of the angels, Gabriel, Michael, you understand, Raphael, none of the angels work for themselves. If you understand Exodus 15:3, the Lord is a man of war. And if you understand anything about warfare, the general doesn't do too much of the killing, man. Just look at the United States military. Colin Powell was a black general in the United States military. Did he, after 9/11, did he go over to Iraq and Afghanistan? Where was Colin Powell when them brothers was dying over there in Iraq and Afghanistan? In D.C., in the Pentagon, calling shots from a phone and video phone. I need y'all to go here and make this happen. That's what generals do. And the Most High is an absolute warlord, the absolute general. He doesn't have to lift a finger. He has angels that he gives orders to, and they carry it out. And Satan is an angel just like the rest of them. And the Lord, when he wants to make a point and try to get you to see certain things, you go against the Lord, he sends Satan on you, man. Go ahead, brother.
Salakia, just to add to what he said in the story of Job, when Satan was walking to and fro
there you
through
go.
the gates of heaven, there was no beef between, God asked, what are you doing here? He was like, I ain't got nothing to do.
Right.
He said, well, try Job. He sent him to Job.
Now, if we were to go off of the Christian, what do Christians say about Satan and the devil? Anybody know?
You're kicked out of heaven.
Satan was the most beautiful angel, and he was in charge of the music, and he convinced 1/3 of the angels to leave, and then the Lord kicked them out of heaven. Where the hell is that in the Bible? Where the hell is that at? I grew up in church, and I heard that all my life and never read it for myself. I was dumb enough to repeat that garbage. That's how I know it by heart. Because I repeated it and repeated it and repeated it, but I never goddamn read it. Because it's not in the Bible. Satan was never kicked out of heaven. There was never no war in heaven. You understand? Everybody in heaven agrees with the Lord. The Lord is the ultimate general. And that's why in Job, it'll tell you Satan was going from earth to heaven. If he was kicked out, how the hell is he able to come back and forth?
Exactly.
You know why? Because Satan has to report just like the rest of the angels have to report. You may not understand this. This is why the UPK is so special, because in here we bring the scriptures to life. When you sit in your first council as an officer, you'll see just how we do what the Bible is talking about. You understand? DC, report. Houston, report. UK, report. Trinidad, report. That's what always has been done with our people. It's not that we could. That's what has always been done. And in Job, it tells you Satan had to go and report to the Most High. Now, if he went against the Most High and fought against the Most High, how is he reporting to somebody? To report to somebody means that you are underneath them. You understand? That's what it's saying. And Satan still works for the Most High. Anyways, The Lord's spirit left Saul, and the Lord sent an evil spirit in the place of his spirit. Keep reading.
1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 15. And Saul's servants said unto him, Behold now, an evil spirit from God troubleth thee. 16. Let our Lord now command thy servants, which are there before thee, to seek out a man who is a cunning player on the harp.
What's going on right here is Saul's servants now see that he is plagued with this evil spirit. How do you think Saul's servants seen that Saul was plagued with this evil spirit? How would they know this? How would they know to say, you played with this spirit?
Because at first everything worked right for him. Now he's having nothing but mishaps.
Yes, but give me more. Be in the class. Give me more on topic. How would the people around Saul know that he is now plagued with demons? Because mental illness is demons. Saul is now being what you would say mentally ill. Just imagine you being around somebody and they off. What we call today, they off. Like, man, that brother off, man. He like this, he bipolar. He like this 1 minute, and he like this another minute. Many brothers, you say that about your woman all the time. Something wrong with you. You ain't right in the head. How do you know? Because you looking at what she's doing and saying, this is off. You understand? You're mental. When in all actuality, this is a demon in the spiritual realm. And his servants are around him, so they see this. They're like, yo, he was just laughing, man. He crying. Not saying that's what he's doing,
right?
But I'm just giving you an example of what you can imagine they witnessing him doing in the physical.
They notice the change.
They notice the change.
Dress.
Yeah, they seeing like, yo, what the hell? He just said he wanted to drink this, and then he spazzed out because I brought him this, and you know what I'm saying? And, he was just smiling. Now he angry, and now he crying. And what the hell? This cat got something going on with him. Keep reading.
You stop on the top, sir.
Bubba Kashar.
Come on. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 16. Let our Lord now command thy servants, which are before thee, to seek out a man who is a cunning player on the harp. And it shall come to pass, when the evil spirit from God is upon thee, that he shall play with his hand, and thou shalt be well.
This right here is important to understand, man. Music can determine what spirit you in. Now, don't get too deep. Stay with me, because I know Christians love when you get in these type of little superstitious type feeling conversations. It's simple. When you about to lay down with your woman, what type of music do you play?
Love music.
Love music. You don't play Waka Flocka when you about to lay down with your woman. You don't play Salaki. If you got the sister that want to hear Gucci, you know, right? She might want to go back to the projects. You got you a straight up hood mouse. Not a hood rat. I don't call sisters rats, but a hood mouse. You understand? You choose the music to set your mood, to set a certain tone. Just like brothers that's about to go run, what we call in certain places, a brother's about to go run a drill, or what they call in the old days, do a drive-by. What brothers listening to? Music that inspires or encourages that spirit to do what they about to do. You don't listen to goddamn R&B. You got to make a move like that. You in the car, you drinking the 40 ounce, you sipping that ooh-wee, or you doing that cocaine, and you listening to Shoot a Nigga Dead, Murder on My Mind, Murder Was the Case. You know what I'm saying? You listening to music, a certain song, to put you in a certain spirit or a certain vibe. And it's no different. It's always been like this. David was such a good player on the harp, not the harp, Salaki. The lyre, you understand, which would be almost down like a guitar. You understand? David was so good on playing that it would put King Saul in a spirit, in a vibe where he was able to fight that demon. You understand? But keep reading.
1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 17. And Saul said unto his servants, Provide me now a man that can play well, and bring him to me. Verse 18. Then he answered one of the servants and said, Behold, I have seen a son of Jesse, the Bethlehemite, the Bethlehemite, that is cunning and plain and a mighty valiant man, and a man of war, and prudent
Right.
and in matters, and a comely person, and the Lord is with him.
Right. So right here, they're trying to find somebody that can help them play, that can play this instrument so skillfully that it will help Saul to fight this demon. You understand? When David will play, the demon wouldn't act out. You understand? You might see it with a lot of kids, where kids got behavior disorders, where you play certain music and the kids are calm, or just in your life, you play certain music, you know what I'm saying, you get into a right zone. That's why when people drive Uber, they tell you certain types of music to play when you drive Uber or Lyft, because it puts a certain vibe on somebody. You play smooth jazz, or you're saying classical music. You're saying you don't play rock and roll. You driving somebody else in the Uber, because it puts your vibe at unease. You understand? And that's what David was doing. He was so good at playing this instrument that it puts King Saul's spirit at ease, because King Saul was struggling with this demon severely. You understand? Where we at? Keep reading.
Verse 19, sir. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 19. Wherefore Saul sent messengers unto Jesse and said, send me David, thy son, which is with the sheep. Verse 20. And Jesse took an ass laden with bread, and a bottle of wine, and a kid, and sent them by David his son unto Saul. Verse 21, and David came to Saul and stood before him, and he loved him greatly, and he became his armor bearer.
You can drop that. Somebody, come grab this Bible to show. I'm going to show you how the Bible prophesied black people going through what we're going through now. You think it's by chance that mental illness plagues our communities at a higher rate than anybody else? It's a direct link to poverty, because poverty is directly linked to trauma. You understand? When you live not having the basic necessities as what you're going to eat, you can imagine now the environment and the things you have to, that you think you have to do, or that you're around now just to live. Poverty is directly related to trauma. Trauma is directly related to mental illness, and mental illness is directly related to drug addiction, man. They're all three directly related, and the white man knows this. You don't think he knows this? Why do you think they use the CIA to push crack cocaine in black and Hispanic neighborhoods? Because they know we're already in poverty. People in poverty are looking for a relief. They don't want to live because they live in hell. So let's give them relief that makes them feel good for the moment, but that's going to absolutely destroy them. That's what the white man has done. Let's go ahead and read that.
Faces of poverty. What racial social groups are more likely to experience it? The U.S. Census estimates that 13.4% of Americans, about 42 million, live below the poverty line in 2017.
You can drop all this. What I want you to do is, it has numbers. What this article does is list the top 10 demographic groups that are most likely to face poverty, or that live in poverty in America. And I want y'all to see who the people they name in this article. And then I'm going to compare that to what the Bible says. And I'm going to prove to you that who the real Jews are, based off of what the white man says in this article. Kagar, what you got to do is, you got to scroll until you see the number. And then when you see the number, read who is saying. So the first one should be 11.
Let me see, can I find this? I see it. 11. So start from the top right.
Yep, 11.
Service workers.
Who?
Service workers.
What we're going to read is the list of the groups of people that face poverty the most. Service workers. Anybody know what a service worker is? Go ahead. McDonald's, Burger King, the fast food workers. You understand? it's not by surprise. Who fills up the majority of those jobs? Black people. We fill up the majority of those jobs. Go to the next one. The service workers.
Women.
Women. You understand? I know all the feminists that's watching, like, yes, we need equal pay. They're not telling you that this is talking about Black and Hispanic women. And I can prove it to you by who was on this list. You think Black women, you think you got the same struggles as the white woman. I'm going to show you. We're going to see if the white woman is on this list. You understand? Keep reading.
Number 9, Hispanic and Latino.
Who?
Hispanic and Latino.
Hispanic and Latinos. Hispanic and Latinos make up 18.2% of the U.S. population. You understand? But 26.2% of the Hispanic population lives in poverty. Listen, I don't think you've had to see the chart. I wish I had a little graph. And, I learned by little graphs and colors and everything. I'm slow, so I got to see pictures sometimes. You understand? If you can see it in the graph, you will see that this is a high number for the amount of Hispanics in America. Like, Hispanics don't make up a large portion of America, but they make up a large portion of the people that live in poverty in America. Keep reading. So it says Hispanics and Latinos.
Number 8, children under 5.
Keep reading.
Non-citizen immigrants.
Keep reading.
Black and African Americans.
Black and African Americans. You understand? Black and Hispanics have been listed on this list as living in poverty. This is the USA Today article. The I.S.U.P.K didn't write this, right? Keep reading, Kagar. I'm going to blow your mind in just a second.
Adults with less than a high school diploma.
Who do you think makes up that demographic? Adults with less than a high school diploma, meaning adults that didn't graduate high school. The people who had to worry about making money so that they could eat besides going to school. Black and Hispanics. Like, our suffering is directly linked to more of our suffering. The white man knows this. He knows if we keep them to live in poverty, then they won't focus on school. They'll get bad grades in school. They'll get kicked out of school. And they know if you don't reach a certain level of school, now you're not able to make money to survive. So now what are you doing? You're continuing the cycle. So now that your kids suffer the same poverty and abuse and oppression and trauma that you suffer. The white man has created a system that perfectly, almost perfect, because it wasn't for the Lord, it would be perfect. But the Lord has gave us an out. You understand? What? If it wasn't for the Lord, the white man would have created a perfect system that keeps us in an everlasting circle of oppression, trauma, poverty, mental illness, destruction, man. This is the crafty counsel the Bible's talking about in Psalms 83. They've sat and thought long and hard about how after we free these people out of slavery, now how do we keep them from rising up in our nation so they won't overthrow us? And this is how they've done it. Keep reading. Who's the next group?
Number 4, American Indian and Alaska Natives.
You telling me that according to the white man, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans all fall under, are the most likely to be in poverty. Now, remember this is a coincidence. Let's keep reading to see if anybody else following here with us. Keep reading.
Americans with disability.
Here's a shocker. Who has the highest rate of disabilities in America? Who has to get their leg cut off because of diabetes? Who has heart disease and cancer and heart attacks and the gout and high blood pressure and all types of ailments because they can't afford the medication and they can't afford healthy food? And they can't afford to work out because they have to work 16 hours out of the goddamn day to survive. So where do you find time to work out? When you working 16 hours a day, you only got 8 hours left. You need, according to the white man, 6 hours to get a good rest. If you're not getting 6 hours of sleep every day, they say your body starts to deteriorate faster than what it's supposed to. This cycle that we live, brother, this is hell. This is absolute hell. And this is not by chance, man. While you uppity overtime niggas that think black people are poor and that we are the problem. Well, niggas got to get their act right. Niggas got to start making money and niggas got to start doing this and doing that. You are a hoe for the white man. You would spread your cheeks and smile for the white man because you are denying the fact that there are forces that are strategically destroying God's people and trying to ensure that we don't even have time to serve our God. Does that sound familiar? Who else trying to do the same thing that wouldn't give us time to go serve our God? Pharaoh. Moses, before he even asked Pharaoh to let us go, what did he ask Pharaoh? Anybody know? Moses didn't go to Pharaoh and ask to let us go first. What did he ask Pharaoh for? Kagar?
Salaki, to let us serve our God. I think it was a couple of days when I was saying.
To let us go 3 days in the wilderness. Let us go serve our God. You know how everybody got to ask for these days off for your slave? I know I do. A lot of us got to fight tooth and nail with these devils, at these slaves, so we can get these days off to go honor our God and serve, not serve, and observe the Passover. You understand? This was the same thing back then. Moses asked Pharaoh, can my people get 3 days where we ain't got to work or nothing like that, and we just go serve our God for 3 days in the wilderness, outside of your influence, away from y'all? And Pharaoh heard that and got pissed off. He said, surely you have too much time on your hand if you're thinking about serving your God. So what did he do? He increased the burden of black people. And that's what America has done. They have mastered what Egypt did. They increased our burdens so much in this place where you're not thinking about serving God. You're thinking about going to work, paying bills, coming home, having some relief. You understand? That's why black people, once you get older, you see a lot of older black people, they got a nice little schedule where they go to work, they come home, they smoke their weed, you understand, or they drink their drink, and they keep to themselves, thinking because that's all the white man has allowed for them to do. You understand? This is by design. Keep reading.
Number 2, the unemployed.
The unemployed. Who are the goddamn unemployed? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. This whole list is talking about the same people, just in different categories of our people. This whole list is about us. 1 in 2 black men are unemployed. Meaning, in this room, there's 4 brothers in here. 2 of us is unemployed. Everywhere we are, where's black men? No other demographic faces those rates of unemployment the way we do. And is that by chance? No, it's not by chance. They make it where you don't graduate high school, so now you can't get a job without a high school diploma or GED. They make it where most brothers have been to jail or been to prison. Can't get certain jobs with a goddamn record. This is all by, if you can understand just how crafty and diabolical the white man is, you can really start to understand just how hard we have to fight to serve our God. Because the Lord is the only way we can be delivered from this devil. Keep reading.
Number 1, single recent mothers.
Whoa, who?
Single recent mothers.
I don't need no man. Who?
Single recent mothers.
Oh, we and the kids, we gonna be good. We don't need you. Who?
Single recent mothers.
INDEPENDENT. This is talking about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. Black and Hispanic women are the single mothers. These are the main people to face poverty. And the Lord said this will be our lives in America. Give me Deuteronomy, the water for God.
That's what.
Deuteronomy 28 and 67. Go ahead, read it.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 67. In the morning thou shalt say, would God it were even.
Hold that. Let me go to it too. It's a lot. Deuteronomy 28 going to show you how the Bible is going to clarify that the people that are on the list, on the white man's list that live in the poverty are the real Jews. I'm watching the show before I came here because I'm a nerd. For those of you that don't know, I know I look fly and I come off as the cool kid citing us a lot. I'm talking smack. But listen, I'm a big nerd and I like to watch National Geographic and Discovery Channel. I like documentaries and stuff like that. And I was watching a documentary right before I came to class, and it's called The Bible Uncovered. It's about some Chinese man trying to find out who the Israelites are. Where's the Israelites? And it starts off about the Israelites. They go into the records about how Israel fled from Egypt and how the Red Sea was parted. And now he's trying to figure out what people are the Israelites today. We don't know who the Israelites are today. And I'm looking at this and I'm watching this, and my rib she get mad at me because I'm cussing the TV out as hard as I can. You a mother-in-law, you know who the goddamn Israelites are? That's me. I'm that cat. You don't want to watch nothing with me because I just, that's how I do. I have to do that. You understand? Or I'll break something. And I'm cussing the TV because the white man is so crafty and he knows who the hell the goddamn Israelites are. He's telling us through his list. He's telling us through the people that he hates. The Asians are the #1 illegal immigrants in America. But who does America does not want to cross the border? The Mexicans. When the Mexicans come over here and are the hardest working race of people, you understand? Black people serve America. Native Americans make up the highest demographic of people that serve in the military. You probably didn't even know that. Go look it up. The same people who were murdered and slaughtered and had their land stolen turn around and serve this place more than anybody else. Native Americans make up the highest demographic of people that go and serve in the United States military. After the United States military, the troops, the cavalry murdered the Native Americans. We are the people this Bible is talking about. You understand? And this is going to prove it right here. You understand? Deuteronomy 28:68 is when is Salaki 28 and
48.
No, we're gonna start. Look at verse 20. No. We had to start before that. 15, Salaki. That's right. Brother on here, Genius Solutions said, I battle schizophrenia. No one can tell me you can't change your lifestyle and do the commandments. I'm living proof. Get that brother a hand. Get that brother absolute hand. Now, if this is not an IUIC psyop, then this is a good thing, brother. You understand? I had to throw that out there. It's like I can't get on them like I want to. Be off them. But brother, listen. It's good that you said something because our people think there's a stigma to you having mental illness. When brother, you come into I.S.U.P.K, you're gonna realize you right at home because we all a little off in here. You gotta be off to go in the capital of the white man's nation and call him the devil to his face. You gotta be a little off to do that. You can't be all the way right in your head knowing what can happen to you. You gotta be off wearing all black and wearing these long garments and wearing these headbands with spikes, looking like a biker gang / emo / dance crew / murderer killer, gang. You got to be off to do that confidently. We all off in here, brother. And listen, man, brother, I pray you come into the I.S.U.P.K with all your afflictions, man, because this is the place to get healed. Christ said it, man. The sick need the hospital. You understand? You don't bring well people to the hospital. You bring the sick to the hospital. Come in here, brother. You're going to get well. And that's to everybody that's battling any type of mental illness or affliction. Salaki, brother. Go ahead.
Salaki, if I may forgive me, I know something wrong with me because I can't wait to do it.
Listen, brother, hey, that's how often we are. We eager to be different. Every time we listen, this is how bad it is. Whenever we going out, I try as much as I can to put on as much UPK gear as possible. I want to wear the my armbands with all the spikes that come up to here. I just want to look as outrageous as possible whenever you go to the club. Like, what? Why don't you wear what's these weirdos? Brother, we all are off here. We off for our God, though, man. We off to serve our King. You understand? Because we're going to read about what happens when we don't serve our God. We're going to read about our lives right now. Go ahead and read.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee.
That all these what?
Curses shall come upon thee.
What do black people always say we trying to stop in the community? The generational curses. We got to break the generational curses. Even us as a people that didn't know the truth, we know that we live a life that's cursed. A lot of us never even heard about it. I've never heard this scripture in the Christian church. Growing up in church, I've never heard this scripture before. And if I would have heard it, I probably don't remember it because it was never broken down the right way. I never heard the scripture, but we grew up knowing that we had to break generational curses because we knew our lives were nothing but lives of vexation and hell and curses, man. No matter what status you reach in this white man society, you cannot escape the curses. Your life is going to be a curse. And DMX is a perfect example of that. And I'm not saying it to slander the brother, man. I'm saying it because our people place so much value on money. We think if we just can make enough money, we can get up out the hood and our lives will change and we'll be good and all the problems will go away. When Pop Smoke, a young rapper with money, was killed in Beverly Hills. When DMX, a brother who has a little bit more money than the average man, suffered what George Floyd suffered. You understand? Not what George Floyd suffered, Salaki. Suffered what an average black man would suffer because George Floyd was murdered. Let's get that straight. George Floyd was absolutely murdered by a racist, devil, white police officer.
That's right.
You understand? But DMX suffered what an average, everyday nigga in the street suffers. The Bible talks about this happening to us. Keep reading.
And overtake thee. Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field. Somebody break this down. What is it saying? Go ahead.
No matter where you are,
No matter where you are, finish it.
you'll be cursed.
You'll be cursed. No matter if you are Oprah goddamn Winfrey, you're going to go into a store and they're going to look at you as a bald-headed scallywag nigga wench. Some dog-headed bee. You understand? No matter if you DMX, you are going to suffer drug addiction. No matter if you're Whitney Houston or Prince, you're going to suffer drug addiction. No matter if you're Richard Pryor's son, you're going to suffer child molestation. You understand? No matter what status you are or where you go to hide, you can be Pop Smoke. Pop Smoke was from Brooklyn, New York. You would have thought he would have never made it out of Brooklyn. He should have died in Brooklyn, you would have thought. And he made it out of Brooklyn, got money, and was just to be killed in goddamn Beverly Hills, California. Cursed shall we be in the city, cursed shall we be in the field. Black people migrated from the South, from Mississippi and Alabama and Georgia and Texas and Louisiana. We went to Chicago, to Detroit, to St. Louis, to New York, to Boston, to D.C. And guess what we found out when our people left from down south and went from the country and went to the cities? Cursed shall we be in the city, cursed shall we be in the field. The white man is the devil up there too. We live in oppression wherever we go because these curses follow us, man. You can't outrun the curses. And that's why suicide is such a stupid thing. It's not the solution because guess what's going to happen? You're going to kill yourself and the Lord is going to bring you right back into suffering and more suffering because now it's like a prisoner that tries to escape prison before it's time. Now you got to come back to jail. Now you got to serve more time. That's what suicide is. You can't escape your sentence, you understand, until you serve your time. And the Lord has us serving time, man. Keep reading.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 17. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Verse 18. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body.
And our kid, the fruits of your body is your children. It says, cursed should be our basket and our store, our food, man. Black people eat the worst foods because we live in poverty. You understand? We grew up, man. I remember, man, we grew up off of processed foods, man. It wasn't nothing for us to eat honey buns and hot chips and the little juices and the little barrels and you know, everything that's just processed. You know what I'm saying? While the white man, they feed their children 100% organic whole food smoothies and kale. And I never knew I just found out what kale was, I would say about 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? 6 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, I didn't know what no avocado, kale, and all that was. I knew what fried chicken was. I knew what a Big Mac was. I knew what a value meal was.
Yep.
You understand? Our people, even the food that we eat is cursed. And our children are cursed. Keep reading.
And in verse 18, cursed shall be thy fruit of thy body and fruit of thy land.
And let me say something too. This is not to shame anybody that eats those things now. You understand? Because we live in hell. Don't think that eating those things makes you bad or anything. Because best believe, if I'm going somewhere and I need to eat, I'm getting the value menu. You understand? I'm just telling you, like, in comparison to the white man, we eat the things that they wouldn't dare eat. Just think about pig feet. Black people love that goddamn pig feet and chitlins when the white man would never think to put that garbage to his mouth. And we love it. Don't eat that pig feet though, y'all. That's an abomination. Swine is an abomination. Keep reading.
The increase of thy kind and thy flocks of thy sheep. Verse 19, cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
Meaning we go here, we go there. Cursed, man. Keep reading.
Verse 20, the Lord shall spend upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke.
What is vexation? Anybody know what vexation is?
When you mad, like being mad.
To be constantly bothered, constantly unsettled, to be vexed. You understand? And that's the life we live. Everything, the little things just piss us off. Black people, that's why road rage is so bad with the black community, because we already live in hell. All it takes is somebody to cut you off, and that you ready to go off the deep end. You ready to end it all because somebody cut you off. Everything vexes us. The line is too long. It's I gotta wait in the goddamn DMV line. It's a lot of memes on Facebook. Black people stand in line for 2 minutes and be like, you know, what they say? Go ahead, Cigar.
A perfect example of this is the brother that went to the Capitol. The one that killed the 2 officers. He was vexed.
I wouldn't say that yet. I'm waiting. The jury's out on what's going on with that, because I'm still confused on why that brother did that. So I won't speak to why he did it, what motive he had, and what connection he has to them. But you could compare it to all type of other things that the other sister that drove into the Capitol, they killed her and with her child in the back. Vexation, madness. You understand? Mental illness. And the Bible's gonna talk about that. That's black people, man. We stand in the line for 2 minutes and be like, man, listen, man, this is taking too long. They ain't gonna be here all day. Everything vexes us. You think white people don't live a life like that. Like you know, white people, don't they just seem so content and unbothered? Meanwhile, we bothered by everything. I don't like the way they looked at me. Somebody can look at you wrong and just move you the wrong way. We got so used to our lives being hell that we don't really understand that the way we live is absolutely wrong and off. It's off, man. You shouldn't be unsettled living life like this every goddamn day. Keep reading. Go ahead.
If I may, I agree with that in the world. Like we're always vexed off everything, but to me, when our oppressor even sees us happy for the little time that we happy, I think that vexes them.
It does, and that's why they put systems in place where our happiness is not real happiness. How do we achieve happiness as black people? Getting high. They don't mind seeing us get high. They talk about us and call us crackheads, but they much rather prefer to see us get our enjoyment from destroying ourselves versus us going down to Houston, Texas and having a Passover and enjoying ourselves righteously and serving our God. That's true. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see us come together and rock our traditional Hebrew attire and not, I was going to say Christian word, and come together in brotherhood, man. They don't want to see that. They love to see when a nigga get high, though. You understand? Like, they love to see a nigga pass blunts, and they love to see us kicking it by whoring our women out, because that's us destroying ourselves. They love to see that, but it vexes them when black people really are happy. You understand? Or are trying to achieve so-called happiness. Keep reading.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 20. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke, and all that settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed.
In everything that we set our hand to do is going to be destroyed. I always think about Black Wall Street, because this is the perfect example of, if the Lord is not with us, no matter how successful we think we're going to be, the Lord is not going to allow it to last. Black Wall Street was established by black people coming right out of slavery, and it was more successful than the economy of the United States as a whole. This is all black people. And guess what the Lord allowed to happen? For a racist, terrorist bastard to destroy everything. We built it with our bare hands by ourselves. And the Lord allowed for it to be destroyed. You know why? Because we missed the key ingredient in everything. And that's following the commandments, man. Keep reading.
And until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. Verse 21, the Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee.
What is pestilence? Go ahead.
Sickness.
Sickness, and give me more. What's the root word of pestilence?
Pest.
Pest. You think it's normal to live with roaches? You think it's normal to live with mice and bugs? Do you know what asthma is caused by in the black community? Dead roach carcasses. Probably don't know that. You might want to look it up. When roaches die and their bodies decompose, the dust from the roach gets in the air, and it causes toxic spores to get in the lungs. And for children, it is absolutely detrimental to the development of their lungs when they develop asthma. You probably didn't know that. Look it up. Everything that we go through is literally in the Bible. It's not normal to wake up and turn the light on and all your friends scatter. That's not normal. It's not normal for you to be a kid and you got to pour your cereal extra slow, because you got to make sure you don't see nothing fall in there extra with it.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Listen, man, you know who lives like that? Niggas, Spicks, and Redskins. That's the life we live. That's not normal, man. White kids don't have them problems. The Asians and the Africans don't have these problems, but we do, because the Bible said we would, because we are the Israelites. We are the people of the Bible. For those of you that's so-called trying to find them, I think I found them. I think this is them right here. I think you're reading about them right now, because this is my life. This is your life. This is our lives. Keep reading.
Until he have consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it. Verse 22, the Lord shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with an inflammation, and with an extreme burning.
This is all the sicknesses that plague the black community, man. Every time it's damn near like, once a black person gets about 35, 40, you can just start to assume the sicknesses come on. Like, you ever see old black people talk to each other? You know, there's a lot of they talking consistent, them complaining about the sicknesses they got. You gotta be around. I know the white man has destroyed a lot of our old heads, but if you've been around old people, you at a certain age, all they talk about is the sickness. Yeah, that gout killing me. Yeah, my leg on fire. Where my pen? I gotta stick my finger. I gotta read my diabetic. It's time for me to do my diabetic, my insulin. You know, old black people, I just have all types of ailments. You know what I'm saying? And damn near first makes you mad when you're young, because it's like, God damn, like, you didn't take care of your body. What the hell you was doing? And then you get up in age and realize, I don't know how this is affecting me. I thought I was relatively healthy. I was relatively active. Because you are a child of God. And God is punishing his children right now. Keep reading.
And with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish. Verse 23, and thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass.
Drop that. Go down to verse 28 to get on the topic. And we got to end it. I didn't realize the time.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 38. The Lord shall smite thee with a madness, with madness.
28. You read the right one, but you said the wrong number.
Oh, Deuteronomy 28, chapter 28, verse 28.
Yep.
The Lord shall smite thee with madness.
With what?
Madness.
What is madness? Anybody might know.
Being crazy, out of your mind.
Being goddamn crazy. It's a disease called mad cow disease. And this disease is called mad cow disease because cows started to do things that were absolutely abnormal, damn near crazy for a cow to do. You understand? And well, do you know what you have to do when the cow has mad cow disease? Anybody know? You have to kill the goddamn cow. You have to shoot it in the head. You can't even eat the meat from it because it's that goddamn crazy. The word mad means to be crazy. Black people literally suffer from mental illness, and the Bible prophesied we will be goddamn crazy, man. Not the crazy one niggas like to brag because I'm a little crazy. The nigga want nothing because I'm a little. The nigga know I'm crazy. Nah, nigga, not that crazy. The crazy where you supposed to be taking medication, crazy brother. The crazy where it's like, brother, why would you touch that child, man? The crazy where you put poison in your own goddamn body. The crazy where you sleep with whores. The crazy where you kick out the man of your house, the father of your children. We literally suffer from mental illness. We don't do what's best for our people. We don't do what's best for ourselves. We suffer from mental illness, man. And this is part of the curses that we will suffer. Go ahead, brother. You had something?
Oh, sloppy. The crazy way you filming your own rap video in the entrance of the PG Plaza Mall in the glass of the main door. You just having a whole rap.
You know, talking about something I ain't seen before. This must be some real
I'm
crazy.
walking in the mall and the dude is on the side of the glass, the main door, and he's just having a whole rap video. He got that whole little young dude bop and he rapping and everything. He paying nobody else no mind.
Brother, you know how common that is in the black community? Like for us to see our people walking down the street talking to themselves, and to us, it's just normal. It's not normal.
Not the way he was doing.
No, I feel you. But okay, for us, we assume everybody in the projects in the hood is just a little bit off. It's normal for us to see that behavior. Well, a white person see a brother walking down the street crazy, and it's, oh my gosh. Right. It's a shock. It's like, oh my gosh. For us, this still.
Right.
No, you know what I'm saying? We be on the bus with them, be on the trains with them, and to us, it's normal. When it's not normal, this is what we're suffering because the Lord is cursing our people. Keep reading.
And blindness.
The Lord shall smite us with madness and blindness. Keep reading.
And astonishment of heart.
An astonishment of heart. You want to know what astonishment of heart is? When George Floyd when Derek Chauvin does not get what the judgment that he deserves for killing George Floyd, what you gonna see black people? Oh, I can't believe this is. You would have thought after Rodney King, we know what the hell's gonna happen. We seen on camera 6-7 police officers beat the piss out of Rodney King, and black people were astonished then, as if we didn't see black people get hosed and had dogs sick them in the 60s. Oh. And we were astonished then, as if we didn't see white people hang us from trees. And we were astonished then, as if we didn't know that they came to a land and put us in chains and put us on the boat and took us across a goddamn ocean. Everything, we just astonished all the time. Everything, oh my God, I can't believe this. Why would they kill that man like that? Why are they doing this to us? Why do they hate us? We are so goddamn astonished. You understand? When the Lord has the answers in the Bible. Keep reading.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness.
And we shall grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in the darkness. You ever seen a blind person in the dark? What are they doing? Trying to find their way. And that's black people. That's our people. Our lives consist of us just trying to find our way. We have no purpose, no sense of direction. We just simply are existing and serving America until we die. That's all of our lives are. That's what our parents' lives were. Their grandparents were just existing, serving this place, and die. That's it. Keep reading.
And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways.
And we shall not prosper in our ways. Can't you tell? We are not prospering, man. If you think this is prospering, then you got low standards. You really mentally ill, because our lives as black people is the bottom. We are the bottom. The white man just told you in USA Today in this article, niggas, spicks, and redskins are the bottom. They the poor people. They the ones that live in poverty. We're not prospering, man. Keep reading.
And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore.
And we shall be only oppressed and spoiled even more. They know we live in poverty, and you would think there would be some compassion for black people. There would be some type of help for black people. And what do we get when we need help? We get more oppression, more murder, more hatred, more deceit. Keep reading.
And no man shall save thee.
And no man shall save us. While we look into these stupid Christian pastors and these stupid black politicians and these stupid black entertainers to speak on our behalf and stand up for us. The Bible says no man's going to save us. They're not saving us, man. They're not speaking up on behalf of black people. Where's the black leaders? All these black entertainers and black leaders got the goddamn nerve to hashtag stop Asian hate. Where was your antennas when we was getting killed in the streets? We could have used your little hashtag, man. We could have used some of your money to fund the UPK or fund some of these movements, you know what I'm saying, that really aren't going to fix anything. UPK is the answer. But where was the help? You could have been out there helping, but no man is going to save us. Keep reading.
Verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. Verse 31.
Go to verse 37, Baba Shah.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment.
And we shall become an astonishment. You see how everybody looks at black people? Do you know right now, white people take tours, official tours of Marcy projects in New York City. Wow. Even in DC. White people are like, can you take us to the hood? Can you drive? I want to drive to the hood. It's always been a fantasy of white girls to go to the hood or the projects. White boys too. Because our lives are astonishing. And not in a good way. You'll be around white people that never been around black people. They ask you, have you ever seen somebody get shot before? Have you ever... They ask you all type of stereotypical questions that they assume every nigga is supposed to have experience this. You ever see somebody get killed before? Like, we are an astonishment to these people, man. That's who we are. And not in a good way. Keep reading.
A proverb and a byword.
Look at these niggers. Look at these wetbacks. Look at these goddamn Redskins. They just now changed the name of the Washington, D.C. football team. You understand? We are known as bywords and proverbs to this place because we refuse to serve the Lord. Listen, man, mental illness, drug addiction, and poverty is all directly linked to each other. And it's by design that we suffer these things. The Lord has allowed our enemy, our oppressor, the white man and his system, America, to destroy us because we refuse to have brotherly love for our people, to love our brothers the way the Bible says to love our brothers, to follow the Bible the way we ought to follow the Bible. The Bible is our constitution, and it's not an option. That's what you don't understand. Just like following the laws in America is not an option, even though you allowed to break the laws in America because they don't follow their own laws. You understand? So you can get away with breaking the laws for a time. I suggest you not break the laws, but you all know you did broke laws and got away with it. But the Bible is different, man. This law you cannot break and go unscathed. You break our Constitution, you are going to pay for it. And that's what our lives are in America. That's what our lives are wherever we are as a people. We are suffering the judgment of what it is to be criminals, you understand, against God's law. And we have to change, you understand? You want to stop mental illness. You want to combat mental illness and drug addiction. And you want to fight poverty. You want to stop what happened to DMX from happening to more black people. You have to come into the I.S.U.P.K and learn how to love your brother and your sister and your people the way God told us to. You have to learn to follow your culture the way God told us to, man. With that, we're going to pass the class over to Trooper Kagar, man.
Security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Junior YAHANNA. New rules for brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off all limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shut themselves with the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister have an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to the brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashua. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest funds, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upholding convocations, which is the Passover.
This April 24th is coming up, yo. About 2.5 weeks. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. It's going down. Listen, man. I might get Duce Black. What's the most special Duce they got? The Duce XO? I'm going to make up something. I'm going to do some mixing. And, I'm going to make my own Duce Henny Black Special Edition Deluxe. You understand? We getting it in, man. It's going to be good drink, good food. You understand? Good music, brotherhood, sisterhood. Bring them kids too, man. Bring them little crumb snatchers, man. Bring them. You know why? Because they're going to be safe. And I call them crumb snatchers as a joke, y'all. I know somebody like, see, I'm not bringing my kids around. He thought my kids, it's jokes, man. Them are sons and daughters too. Bring them kids, man. Let's enjoy us getting a break from this hell and serving our God. You understand? This is what we wanted to do in Egypt, and we couldn't do it in Egypt. The Lord has made it now where we're able to honor and observe our culture in the midst of us living in the land of our captivity. Who knows? This might be the last one. I'm not saying it is. It could be the last one. The Lord allows the last one.
There you go.
You understand? Because this way of living cannot continue on, man. Right. We should have to request off for a day the Lord said we are to remember. In our kingdom, everybody's going to have to be off. Everybody's going to be off on Saturdays. In our kingdom, God's law will be the law of the land. And that's what we're going to the Passover to do, to honor our culture and remember what the Lord destroyed our slave master, our enemies, the so-called Egyptians at that time. Now it's the white man. You understand? But that's what we're doing. April 24th, Houston, Texas. Go online to any I.S.U.P.K. Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, and you can get the information for the Passover if you still want to go. It's not too late. Pay your Passover fund, $200 per person, 17 and older. If they are under 17, it's free. You understand? Pay your Passover fund, get your tickets, get your hotels, or however you might know somebody down there. Just get it in, man. Just come down and enjoy it, right? Go ahead, bro.
Since you mentioned that, I'm going to go to the bottom. If a brother wants to be a trooper,
no, keep reading when you was at.
Okay. Remind Akim and Al-Wathiyan to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so forth for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, you should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, and black headbands or scarf. And with that, we say Sar, which is to stand.
It's like with that we say I-M-A-J.
So like I-M-A-J, which means to stand. Men of Israel will give one courtesy salute to the teacher. I-M-A-J. Men of Israel, I-M-A-J. I-M-A-J Shabbat. I-M-A-J. Barak. Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
And with that,
Yazmatah.
And with that, class is missed.
One second, nobody say nothing yet.
The Lord loved us so much that in our poverty, in our hell, I'm going to come and deliver the broken, destroyed, messed up, poor, impoverished people. I'm going to save.
Young niggas ain't tough. Young niggas ain't tough. You young niggas ain't tough.
Hey, Shalom Israel. Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua Barakatah. Yahweh Shema Alatah B'Hashem Yahushua to all the sisters, man. Listen, it's Captain 13,000, the card of a rhyme, checking in with the Israelite School of UPK under Commander Junior
Power, and you know we not no cowards. Oh, you on that?
Listen, man, this year's 52nd annual Passover. Hold on. I'm gonna say it one more time. This year's 52nd annual Passover under Commander Junior YAHANNA under the I.S.U.P.K. Couldn't do it last year. Y'all already know the Lord had his foot on our oppressor's neck.
Here in New York City, there are roughly 1,000 cases a day. Those are numbers they haven't seen since May.
Can't do it in New York this year because the Lord still got his foot on our oppressor's neck.
New York, the center of the outbreak this spring, is now teetering on another deadly explosion of the virus.
But listen to me good. This year, 52nd annual Passover, April 24th, 2021. You understand? It's gonna be in H-Town, baby.
It's gonna be at the B&H Ranch, 14149 Players Street, Houston, Texas.
Y'all know what we do. Y'all know what we came to do.
2021 I.S.U.P.K. 52nd annual Passover. All the generals gonna be there. All the heavy hitters gonna be there. The daughters of Zion gonna step out with their beautiful long dresses, you understand? Strong on deck. That One West style music on deck. 52nd annual Passover.
B&H Ranch, 14149 Players Street, Houston, Texas.
Get with it to get lost, man.
Got it out the mud, straight up out the base. The world done made me crazy. The world done turned crazy.
You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I'm siding with the Lord of course. On one accord. We ain't never stopping now. You running now. All my niggas go to ground. We go.
Shalom. Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua Barakatah. Yahweh Shema Ladon B'Hashem Yahushua to the sisters. President Captain Yatazak with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, telling you to come out to the 52nd annual Passover under Commander General YAHANNA. Yeah, man, it's going to be at the ranch, man, the BH Ranch. And it's going to be a glorious event. April 24th, come out, come to Houston, Texas, where we're going to serve the Lord the way he's supposed to be served. You understand? We're going to celebrate the destruction of our enemy in the BH Ranch, and it's going to be a glorious event. Make sure you come out, man. It's going to be a $200 fee to get in, but let me tell you something. You're going to enjoy yourself. This is going to be the best event you've ever been to in your life. So I'm going to tell you, man, 14149 Players Street, come out, man, and enjoy the brotherhood and sisterhood under Christ. With that, shalom.